Views card. The card is a very popular interface element that you can use to group content, related content, for example. So inside these cards, you can put different kinds of content and images, and then you can create lists or groups of cards to showcase different related content. Here we have a brief overview of what different cards you can create. First, we see a card with blocks of text content. Then we have a card with an image in the top. Then we have a card with a description only, card with header and description, card with header, metadata and description. Then we have a card with the image as a link, header as a link, and an inline link. Then we have a card with a button, a card with extra content in the bottom. We have a card with action icons in the bottom and in the top right corner with colors when you hover them. Then we have a fluid card taking up all of the available width. Then we have a centered card. Then we have a raised card with some box shadow. Then we have a link card. One of them is only a link in the visual way. The other one is a link, a true link with the anchor around it. Then we have text alignment options, center text and right aligned text. Then we have different ways to group columns. We can define a column count. For example, here we have 3 columns with cards in each column. We can create stackable cards that will stack on mobile devices. A quick example, when I resize this, we can see that regular cards won't stack, but stackable cards do stack. After this, we have Toppling Cards. So these is actually defined as a 3-column grid with cards, but for smaller devices, they will only have 2 cards on mobile devices. That's why it's called Toppling Cards. Finally, we have all the regular color options that will add a color to the bottom border, like so. Let's go ahead and create these examples. First, we'll create a card with blocks of content, a simple card. We'll start with adding a div tag with the class UI and card. Inside of this, we'll put some content in a div tag with the class content. And inside of this, we'll add a paragraph. And I'll just paste in some text here, like so. And let's copy this one more time. Let's take a quick look in the browser. I'll select the right tab and refresh. Now we see it here. We can see that the card automatically adds the white background, some padding, a border with border radius. Now let's create a card with an image, which is also very popular in use. We create the wrapping element again, div tag with the class UI card. Then we first create an image here. So we add a div tag with the class image. And inside of this goes the img tag. And we'll select an image included in this learning kit, like so. And then we'll paste in the content from before, like so. Let's take a look in the browser. Here we have the image, which has been resized to fit into the card. All right, let's explore different options for content. I'll copy this first card here, and I'll remove this content block here. Now let's see how we can create a card with description. So to do this, we simply add the class description to our p tag here. Let's create one more example, a card with header and description. So inside the content block, we add a div tag with the class header, like so. And we can also include metadata. To do this, we'll copy and paste this. And after our header, but before our description, we want our metadata to appear. So we add a div tag with the class meta and then some content here. Let's save this, go back and refresh. Now we see a card with description only, a card with header and description, and a card with header, metadata, and description. Now let's create a card with an image link, header link, and inline link. I'll go back and copy the card with image here. And now we want this content from here. So what we got is a card with content with header and description. We want to change the wrapping element around our image to an anchor tag and the div tag for the header to an anchor tag. And then we want to add an inline link somewhere in our description, like so. Let's save this, go back and refresh. Now we can see that the image is a link, the header is a link, and we have an inline link as well. Great. Let's go back and explore even more options for content. I'll copy this card up here, paste it in down here. Now let's create a card with button. To do this, after our content tag, we add a new div tag with the class UI bottom attached button. Inside of this, we add an I tag with the classes add icon. We close the I tag again and add the text add card. Let's save this, go back and refresh. Now we see our card with the button. We can also use the bottom part of the card for extra content. So to do this, we'll use a div tag with the class extra and content. And here we'll create another icon, the check icon. Close the I tag again and add some text, extra content. Let's explore one more way of content before we watch this. I'll just copy this and paste it in. We can have action icons appear at the top right corner and in the bottom. So first in the bottom we have this extra content div, and I'll wrap the first icon in a span tag with the class left floated, like so. I'll just change the icon to a like icon, and then I'll copy this, change the left floated to right floated, and the icon to a star icon, and the text to favorite. We can also have it in the top right corner, as I said. So before our header, we'll add an I tag with the class right floated star icon, and another icon with the classes right floated like icon, and close the I tag again. Let's save this and take a look at these two examples. I'll refresh. Here we see our card with extra content in the bottom, an icon and some text. And here we have the card with action icons in the top right corner with the hover effect with the color change, and also in the bottom with the same hover effect. Great. Let's continue to look at the fluid card. I'll just scroll up a bit and copy a simple card here. Scroll down again. To make a card take up the whole of the available width, we add the class fluid. Normally they have a specific width, but with this class they will take up all the width. So we go back and refresh, and now we can see it in action. We can also center a card by using the class centered. We can make it appear raised by using the class raised. We can make it visually appear as a link by using the card or the class link. But of course, we can also make a link card by using the A tag around the parent element, like so. Let's say this, go back and take a look. Here we have the centered card, the raised card with the box shadow, and the link card. This is only the visual way, and this is the right way with the A tag. Now let's look at text alignment. We can have the header or description appear center aligned by adding the classes center aligned to the header or to the description, like so. We can also align it to the right side in the same way. Right aligned header and right aligned description. Let's save this and take a look. Here we have the centered aligned text and the right aligned text. Now let's look at groupings of columns or cards. First we can use column count. So I'll paste in one card here. And now I'll wrap them in a new parent, which will get the classes UI3 cards. 3 will make them appear in 3 columns. You can also use other classes like 4 or 5 and so on. Now I'll just indent this and close it again. Since we're using the UI class here, we don't need to use it here. So I'll remove this. And now let's just copy this multiple times so we get 2. Whoops. Let's just remove this 0. Now let's copy them so we get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. Let's save, go back and refresh. Here we can see that we have the 3 columns with cards. As I said in the intro, they will always appear in these 3 columns, but we can make them stack on mobile devices. To do this, we'll copy this code, paste it in here. Now to the parent element, we can add the class stackable so it becomes UI3 stackable cards. Now when we save and go back and refresh, we can see that for mobile devices, here they are now stacked. We can also create Toppling Cards, which means that they will have 2 columns on small devices, and then on larger devices they will take up the specified number of columns. For example, 3, like in these examples, or it could be 4 or whatever. So I'll just paste in all this code again here. And now we'll add the class doubling, so it becomes UI3 Toppling Cards. Let's go back and refresh. Here we see our mobile size where we have 2 columns, and now when we increase it, it turns into the 3-column grid as specified. Finally, let's look at how we can apply all the regular colors. I'll paste this code in again. Now to change the color of the bottom border, we simply need to add our color class here to the card class. So for example, red, orange, yellow, olive, green, teal, blue, violet, purple. I'll just copy some more cards here. So after purple, we get pink, brown, gray, and black. Now let's take a final look in our browser. Scroll down. Here we can see the color being applied to the border in the bottom. This was all the various ways in which you can use the card view.